The biggest thing is Sean reiterated this yesterday, kind of, as we saw kind of the smoke coming up while we're out here on a practice field, that we got to take care of the number one thing first, and that is the health and safety of our family. Obviously, it sucks to move a home playoff game, but just for this, it sucks worse for Southern California to go through this. So this is a small price to pay, but like you said, silver lining. Our families are going to be safe. From what I know, everyone got out. Obviously, there's been a lot of destruction and loss through these fires, but for this team, all of our I'm pretty sure all of our loved ones got out and they're safe, and we can kind of go forward with this game, with a quieted mind on that front. Yeah, I mean, just kind of like everyone else around here. My situation is, no different than anyone else, dealing with all these fires going on. And it was kind of, similar to kind of 2018 where, you're standing out in the practice field and all of a sudden, someone's going, oh, look at that. And you look up there and you're like, oh, man, another one. And then you're like, wait a second, I live over there. So it's kind of like hey, start calling, find out what's happening. I don't get service at my house, and we've been without power, so I had no way of really knowing. So, luckily I got a, wife went in there, kind of saved the day, got everyone out and safe, and, thankful for that.
How much?
How did you get in touch with people? How did you logistically? I mean, we saw you try to work through it.
Right.
How did all of that? How did you do all of that?
It was kind of right before practice, and so I was just hey, you guys need to go call, go call. So I called, and basically my wife was somewhere else, but not at the house, but my father and my dogs were still there, and my cat, and so it was kind of like, hey, you can't get service up there, so it's like, hey, someone's got to go in and get him. I'm here. So that's kind of how it went, and when you saw me out front, that was she was in the neighborhood, and I like I said, I can't reach them, so I'm getting voicemail, the find my friends thing. That's not working because it's no service up there. So it's just kind of made a split decision that it's just something I couldn't leave the chance. And once I got the call, stopped, turned around, came back. But obviously it was a very serious situation for a lot of different people.
How difficult has it been to prepare for the game when you know what's going on in the community?
Yeah. You take care of the first thing first. Make sure everyone's safe. Then once you have that quieted mind that everyone is safe, and once that's taken care of, which hopefully happens very quickly, then once you're here, you are where your feet are planted. Obviously, this is a horrible situation going on here, especially for all of Southern California, and I feel for a lot of different families out there. But at the end of the day, we do have a job to do. This game's happening, and we expect to go out and play our brand of football and play well. Yep. Yeah. I mean, honestly, kind of very similar. One of the big ones erupted with, when we were on the practice field, and it looks like a bomb went off, and then, like exactly what I said, I was like, wait a second, kind of doing directions, and I'm like, it's directly in line with where I live. And so I had one of our operations in 2018 be like, hey, can you text my wife? And he came back 20 minutes later with, hey, everyone's on their way here, which, I had a young baby at the time, and, all the animals and, sister and brother-in-law were all packed up, headed to the facility. And so at the end of the day, yesterday, everyone ended up in the parking lot like a lot of other families here, so. Yeah, with all this, kind of loss and with all the fires going on, it's, hopefully it can be just, a little escape, to go out and see, a team that's representing their community, hopefully, in the right way, going out there playing hard, which I know 100% we're going to do, because our preparation's been in line with what we wanted. But, if we can give any escape from kind of what's going on now, and I think that would kind of have done its job. But at the end of the day, we're out there expecting to go play well.
obviously a little bit different than when we spoke yesterday, and how quickly things can change. And so I think, the league did the right thing in terms of, keeping the priority, being able to go to Arizona. I think it's a real credit to a lot of people in our organization to be able to seamlessly adjust. We're going to leave here this afternoon. Cardinals have been great in terms of offering the opportunity to be able to utilize their facilities. We'll stay at a hotel nearby, and we'll try to keep what's a unique situation as normal as possible. Players and staff will have the options to be able to bring their families with them as well. And so, what a unique circumstance, what a unique situation. But I do believe that this group has handled it as well as you could. And fortunately, nobody's been injured in the process of everything that's gone on.
Sean, does that give you some peace of mind to know that either the families will all be together, you guys will all be together, and you can more easily focus on it?
Yeah, I think so, Maria. And that was the goal. The intent was, how do we make sure that we take care of priority number one, which is people's health and safety, and then also offer them the opportunity to be able to kind of just put that aside, know that people are with them, that they love and care about, and then be able to focus the best we can to be ready to go on Monday night. And so I thought the guys handled today incredibly well, very mature, was very impressed, and so that was a positive.
So you're not surprised at all at how mature your team is in handling this situation?
That's right, Jim. I'm not. I can't say that there's been some similar situations like in 2018. What was different about that was we were in Colorado Springs anticipating a game in Mexico City, and so the only, number one, the priority is with people's health and safety, and what a tremendous credit to so many heroes being able to, get some of this stuff under control and contained. And so being able to allow them to do that and then be able to go to Arizona with just the necessary things to provide everything that's needed to be able to put on an NFL game. And so that's what we're going to do, and we'll handle it the best we can. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, here's what it's like. As soon as I knew that my wife and little boy were good, you don't ever want that to happen, but if it did, those things can be replaced. And so, fortunately, they got those things under control, but as soon as they got off the practice field and because of where they were, I saw them right away. That was all I needed, but it felt a lot more real. I don't want to say that because you don't want to minimize how important and how many people were affected, but when you can start to see it physically as the smoke rose up yesterday, there was a lot of guys that live in proximity that, that hits home in a different way. But as soon as I knew Veronica and Jordan were good, I was good as well.
Couple more, guys.
Knowing how close to home that you guys were being this morning, how did you handle the rest of that?
Well, I think, Stu, the big thing is it's ongoing yesterday. Guys are taking care of priority number one. We were making sure that you help people. I think Sophie Arlen deserves a ton of credit to be able to help people kind of redirect, go to different locations hotel-wise that were available based on the amount of people that are trying to get out of their house. And so that was priority number one. We were keeping abreast of that situation, and then guys came in, and fortunately, everybody's in good shape, and I think everybody's in good spirits, all things considered. I always speak to them honestly, Sarah, and so I think you acknowledge those things first and foremost. Maybe a little self-deprecation on the truth of how you're really feeling, which I don't necessarily need to share here, but you acknowledge it. You tell them what we want to be able to do as it relates to how to handle ourselves accordingly, to put ourselves in a position to go compete the way that we're capable of.
Coach,
Last one, guys.
did your family have to evacuate?
Yes.
And then what was that like for you? And then secondly, what is it like kind of having to galvanize your team? Two different mindsets, one in competition and then one just checking and make sure they're okay.
Yeah, I think you acknowledge the personal stuff first and foremost, make sure guys are good. And then once you're able to address and be aware of that, all right, now let's focus on what we can control in terms of being totally, completely present, having the right sense of urgency and enjoyment with our preparation. And like I was saying to Jordan earlier, Timmy, the biggest thing was as soon as I knew my wife and son were good, you certainly never want that to happen, and you empathize with the amount of people that have been affected. But you do realize that the people are the most important thing, and all the other stuff is replaceable if worst case scenario came to fruition. Not to fruition, but if it came to life.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you feel sad for a lot of people that have it a lot worse than us. I mean, it's been a hectic 24, 48, 72 hours. Just unexplainable. For us, fortunate. As much chaos as this has caused all of us, in the end, we're still fortunate. We're still getting ready to go play a football game where, some of these people have lost their homes and, their entire livelihoods. And so, just thoughts and prayers with those people, and try to do what we can to help in other ways, once we get through this week. So.
Is there anything you can, as a guy who's a veteran who's been through, not the same, but a similar situation a few years ago, is there anything you can try to impart to your teammates to kind of help them?
I mean, other than a comparison from 2018 to this, just try to keep them calm. I'm, fortunate to be able to kind of just be grounded. And my wife's, ready to lose it. I'm like, we'll be all right. Bags are packed. Like, if we need to get out of here quick, we can. And just make sure everybody's safe. Taking care of guys, trying to help people out. We're up in up north, and we had power, and allowed some of the people who had to evacuate just come by the house and relax. Told them they could stay if they wanted to, and try to help them out any way we can. So.
Was that like yesterday as you guys are seeing the smoke coming up as you guys are starting practice and Sean calls everyone over to take a break? Just what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, you get out here, you see smoke. It's looking like fresh smoke, and you're like, that was not there before, and it looks pretty close. And then you start thinking about, guys and families that are, in the area, and he did a great job of making sure everyone's all right. If you need to handle something, go handle it. At the end of the day, too, it's like, no matter what's going on, we're still playing a game on Monday. So, as we feel sorry for ourselves personally, or, just take what comes, deal with the situation and attack it, work towards, getting what we want out of the situation. So.
Is there any relief, Kevin Devil was talking to us earlier just about, it wasn't necessarily a given that you had to travel tomorrow, but getting everyone there and in a facility that can
Right.
have all of you guys there and family out there, is there any relief that comes with that?
I think a little bit. We went in 18. We were able to, it wasn't planned. It was already planned prior, but going out to Colorado to train at the elevation and just, I think with so many families and so many people having to be evacuated, I think this allows everyone to have a little bit of a peace of mind, knowing that they're safe. Just because, 2 days ago, it's like, you think the worst is over with, and all of a sudden, fire right here in some of these guys' backyards, and it's like, as soon as you think it's over, you just never know. It's flying out there and say my wife was going to stay, and it's like last thing I want is me being in Arizona. Now all of a sudden we got a fire up here, and her and my daughter, by themselves, and I'm not able to help them. So I think just getting away, it's where it's like, okay, families are safe. All the material things we'll deal with if we need to, but just having the peace of mind of the families being safe, and you focus on ball a little bit more, focus on specifically winning this football game. So.
And you're not surprised at all that the Rams are doing all of this for you?
It's amazing. Our ops team, this organization, what they've been able to do to make this happen, to bring everybody together, all our family, even take care of the families, the animals. I made a joke earlier that we got Noah's Ark going over to Arizona today, So, but just they haven't slept much in the last 24, 48 hours. Just them to be able to put this together and make sure everybody, players, staff, and their families are okay. It's a real testament and speaks a lot about this organization, how we operate.
You guys have talked about how impactful that 2018 Monday night game was.
Oh yeah.
But do you feel like this game, even in Arizona, is the same?
Yeah, we'll see. We're always playing for the city of LA. We're all, whether you're from here, spent most of your time here, we're Angelinos and we're playing for the city, and especially when something like that, can kind of bring everybody together. As terrible as as devastating as this can be. Sometimes it takes something like this, for people to band together and come together and work as one, and then you start to see the good in everybody. So, we're playing for the city this weekend, and hopefully we can get a W.
Yeah, it's been the last 24 hours has been chaotic. Obviously, you guys know we're dealing with the fires, but I think the major thing is, we're dealing with the situation the right way. Obviously, we're prioritizing our safety and our health first, which is important. And Coach kind of talked about it today. As long as we have the people in a building, it kind of gives us a sense of, security and calmness. Prayers to everybody that's affected by the fires. I know our community is doing a good job, especially with the Rams, trying to reach out and give support to the families in need. But it's a tragic situation. Obviously, the people that do need help, I hope they get it. And I hope the Rams do everything they can to help the people in the community.
But you also know that as a player, you can provide a little bit of relief just for a little while.
Yeah. Best foot forward Monday night. And that's something now it's really bigger than just a game for us now. Obviously, since we're dealing with the fires and the tragic incidents that are going on, we're playing really for our community. We always play for our community. We play for, the logo on the front and the logo on our helmet. But to see the community impacted, for us to go out there and play well, will give the city hope.
Just as someone who's from the region, went to school in LA, what has this been like for you just on a personal level?
Yeah, I dealt with fires in 2018, 2019. I don't know if you guys remember the Skirball fires right down there by the 405, and that was pretty massive too. It kind of looked like hell on earth, honestly. If you saw the videos. And I was at UCLA at the time, and we had to. I don't think we had to evacuate, but we had to. Everything was canceled that day. So, I had dealt with it. Obviously, there's been fires maybe every year, every 2 years, but to this magnitude, especially in terms of the infrastructure that's gone down, the family homes that have been affected, I think this one is much more tragic, especially because people are losing their homes. Also, there's some stuff where people can't get insurance. There's a lot of layers to it that some people may not see, and sometimes we as players aren't really detailed in on. But yes, I have dealt with it. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm helping the community by being a role model, hoping to find outlets where I can reach out and support. And I think it's important not only as me as a player, but also us as a team to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, whether it's playing or whether it's donating or whether it's giving supplies to people in need. I know there are a bunch of outlets for families that have lost their home for, whether it's Airbnb, whether it's shelters, whether at gyms and stuff like that, but making sure we're spreading awareness of the things that people can get so that they are protected and safe in this moment in time.
As a team captain, you have responsibility without even these kinds of things going on. Going into this game, does it change your role on some level as a captain in terms of keeping guys focused?
I think for me in my position, it doesn't really change. Obviously, you want to remind guys that, when stuff like this happens, it's bigger than the game of football. But at the same time we can use this game to give, like I said, LA hope. And obviously, this is an important time for us in terms of football. We want to make sure that the players' families are safe, that the players' loved ones are safe. But at the end of the day, we do have to play a football game. We understand that. We've been in close touch with everybody's families, making sure they're safe. Obviously, we have a really great plan to make sure that everybody is in the right spot at the right time. But at the end of the day, it's really just performing well on Monday night to give the city hope, and then hopefully, by God's grace, we'll come back and hopefully have a playoff game here so everybody can, enjoy and see the Rams in person.
Sean talked about addressing the team meeting. What stood out to me about what he said to you guys as a kind of
It was a great message. He had this little, almost like a snow globe. It wasn't a snow globe, but it was a half cylinder that had a message in it, and it said, "Built for this." When you think about it, over the course of this season, we have been through so much adversity. We were decimated with injuries early on. Obviously, we're really healthy now, which is very good. But the season has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And for that message, for him to show that we're built for this, he kind of gave us the reassurance and the confidence to say that we've been through so much already. This happening, I'm not going to say it's nothing new, but it's not something that we cannot overcome. It is definitely something that we can overcome because of the situation, the adversity that we have already been through. And for him to show that message, it was very empowering. And knowing that, I know the guys are going to be ready to go come Monday night because, like I said, and like he said, we're built for everything. It was a clear ball, had black letters and a white background, saying "built for this," and we truly are. The Rams are built for this.
Yeah, we're good. We're in a safe spot, so we can stay where we are. We're just kind of monitoring and have every notification of every app on our phone, and just making sure nothing changes.
As the player rep for the NFL team, how
there was, some communication that obviously this was the contingency plan, but it all kind of happened after practice yesterday. So, we were kind of figuring it out at the same time everybody else was. And I think, once they made the decision, they sort of made the decision and then figured out how everything was going to come together after. So some, but not a ton.
Mike, when Sean talked to the team this morning, what resonated with you about the materials he brought with him and also what he said?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the other guys had said, but, he had the message that we're built for this as a team. And my thoughts on it are situations like this kind of bring people together. It brings you closer to your neighbors, brings you closer to your community. And, for Sean and Les and, everybody just to organize, bringing all of our families, bringing everybody. I mean, we're rolling into Arizona with, 200 people, 300 people. Like, we're rolling as a family. We're going in there and, our job is to handle business. And we're going in there for, everybody in Los Angeles, everybody affected by the fires, everybody displaced, everybody evacuated. That's what this week's for us. That's what we play for. And, as far as we're concerned, our job is to give the people of Los Angeles something to distract them from what's going on around them, something to be hopeful for. And I think we can all really rally around that. That's something that, we've been talking about in the locker room. As much as we can't control what's going on in the environment around us, this is something we can control. And, if it helps anybody get through it, then we're doing our job.
Knowing that your families are all going to be something on football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not having to worry. Like, my parents are in town with me. They came out the last game, stayed for the week. And just knowing that they're easy to travel there. They're not going to LAX on their own, delays, figuring out Ubers when they land at Phoenix. So it's just easier. And like I said, it kind of brings people together. I'm a little interested to see what it's going to look like on the plane with kids and babies and, all the family and everything. But it's also an opportunity for us as a team to really get to know the players outside of football and, meet some of the families. So it's going to be interesting.
What was the meeting like, and what was the offer from the Rams about who's welcome to come and kind of how?
I think as far as the Zoom call, it was jump on, say, this is what we're doing, quick overview, and then he sort of just opened it up for questions, and it was, 30 minutes of questions. The team was really, really good about, if you need to communicate, like, I need this person to come, open arms, you're part of the family, they're good to come. And with how fluid and flexible they're being, I think, for you as a player, if you had to communicate something with them, they would absolutely be accommodating, help you out. They're going to work with us. They're going to work through this. And again, Sophie and Vince and everybody who's taking care of that, they've done such an unbelievable job to make this not stressful on us so that we can focus on Vikings for Monday.
Sort of a two-part question of what the hell do your parents think about all this, first of all?
Yeah, pretty crazy. But my parents, they're good. They're going to kind of roll with it. They're doing everything they can to not stress me out, roll the punches. They understand that nobody's fault, not controllable. So you just got to kind of figure out information as it comes, be safe, be smart, and just kind of keep rolling.
And then on that, Mike, for the second part of the question, you're like a lot of people in this city, like you're from somewhere else, and you made it your home, you have it tattooed on your arm. Watching the footage and then watching what's happening to the community, how are you grappling with it, and how do you expect to move forward with the city?
Yeah, it's an awful situation. I've been here 5 years now. This feels like my home. You could see, I'm looking at the fire right there. And yesterday in practice to see, look to the west and another smoke cloud kind of comes up. And it really humbles you that, this is something in nature that is just so big and so out of your control. That anything you can do to help out to the community, help out any way you can. My girlfriend and I, we organized going to buy a bunch of LAFD T-shirts, hoodies, and everything. So when we get down to the plane, I'm going to distribute to as many people as possible. All those proceeds go to help the fire department, and for us, we just any way that we can give back, any way that we can help, any way that we can provide, and it's obviously terrible to see. The Palisades is somewhere that off-season guys will go and just go to the beach. It's a beautiful part of the city, and over in Pasadena, so much football history over there with the Eden Fire. So It's tough to see some of those historical landmarks get burned, but it again brings people together. And we just, all of us as a community, all of us as Los Angeles will figure it out. But yeah. Can't say I've been in something too similar. I guess COVID would be the last big one, but like anything, you just kind of got to be fluid. You got to be agile, and if there's one thing that this organization does really well, it's that, and putting the players first. Trying to keep football the main thing, and anything that it takes to try and go beat the Vikings on Monday night. So they are really good about taking input, hearing players' voices, and if we as players think we could be doing something differently, they'll absolutely hear us out and make changes. So it's collaborative. It's they do a really good job.